And
Ever
so now
wondered
that you
how
have to
vets
get a
tackle
job, right? Like
post-war
you're learning,
life and
right?
gaming
Or I try to
misconceptions?
tell people like, don't pay for anything, don't buy anything new.
Yeah.
And like do your best for 6 months, don't do anything, right?
Hmm.
Because it's like you now you have to take a job you don't like, that job sucks, you hate your life,
Yep.
and then sooner or later it's like, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's, and I'm sure you guys know this too, but like in the army, people always told you save your money,
Yeah.
right? You're going to need it. And most of us, if you were like me, you're like, ah, nah, no way. I don't need this. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go downrange
Yeah.
and party it up and all that. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. People getting out and, bleeding their wallets
Yeah,
until
and
they've
those things
gotten
people know the
enough.
life they say is like you get 50%. Not really, because the housing don't count, right? So you really only get like 33% of your pay.
When you retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that number
And the
um
taxes were so much higher than I realized.
diminishing,
That
man.
tax is like was a shock. What the fuck is this?
I can imagine, dude. And like with inflation as well, like
Yeah.
it's just slowly, probably slowly not becoming enough
Yeah.
to really lead something. I meet a lot of veterans who retired from the military and just stayed overseas because of that.
Yeah. Are there a lot of U.S. military veterans here in Vietnam?
In Vietnam,
Like a
um,
community here or something, like U.S. military veteran community or something?
so I can tell you that there are actually VFWs
Mhm.
all over Southeast Asia,
Okay.
which is kind of for me when I discovered this was a bit shocking
Mhm.
because it's like VFWs in other countries, and then I'm like, why not? We got the
Yeah.
armies in other countries. So in Vietnam, I haven't met a lot of veterans, but when I was living in Thailand,
Yeah.
I met a lot of veterans, tons of veterans retired out there.
So we were here for 10 days in September, and I've been here since like November 10th.
Mm.
Besides my friends Kevin and me, you're the first American I've seen since my time in Vietnam.
Yeah, we're kind of rare
Yeah,
here.
there's not very many Americans here, right?
You meet a lot of Europeans here,
Yeah.
but
I've seen a lot of
Americans,
Australians, Great British people.
yeah. Because I think the reason why there aren't a lot of Americans here is because we are American. We have a very narrow view of humanity culture wise, right? Everything else is we're exposed to via media, which
Yeah.
is more often than not the reality of
Yeah.
things, and you when you traveled the way I've had to in life, since 18 years old,
Yeah.
42 now, you learn that, don't pay attention so much to the TV.
Yeah.
Just go outside and
Yeah.
figure something out.
And you spent a year in Iraq?
I spent my first tour was short of a year. My
Okay.
second tour was a bit over a
Can you
year.
talk about your experience there? If you're comfortable with it?
Which one? They're completely different
Okay.
experiences.
Um,
The first tour was war. It was actually war,
like real
and
war,
like
like
real
it
war.
wasn't
Like
like the peacekeeping mission, or is the wars like,
it was proper war,
yeah,
man. We
like
were
World War II version?
we were shooting at shit,
Yeah.
and
So you actually like shot down range in the tank.
yeah, we were shooting down range of tank. We're letting rounds off, man. We had really huge. Our biggest like proper battle. We um I'll say target confirmed.
Mhm.
Rounds fired as the verification for the number of troops we fought was something around 1,500 troops dismounted with RPGs, but it was a feint. They thought they were going to be ambushing a supply
Mhm.
convoy, and what they got was 12 tanks and 6 Apaches and a whole bunch of dismounted 101st Airborne Division. So it was a slaughter, but that was kind of how the entire war went.
So I can make this up. I think if you're an infantryman, you get a certain number of kills, you get some kind of medal, or like there's some kind of contest.
No,
Is there something like for tanks too, where you hit a number of targets, you get like some kind of
no,
recognition or something?
no, you don't get anything like that. But you do get some rewards for just going,
Uh-huh.
for just being there. Yeah, yeah, you get some medals for some combat medals for
Mhm.
for going. Expeditionary medal at the time, I
Yeah.
think, for the first one. And there's no real competition. And I don't think people understand that the reality of it is not the same as like back when the Vietnam War
Yeah.
happened, or any of the world wars, or stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Like we're not talking about soldiers who are mentally prepared for
Yeah.
war. We're talking about very young people
Yeah.
who were shocked just like everybody else that
Yeah.
this was happening. So yeah, we weren't even on that level. Like, let's
So
make it a competition.
does this ever happen to you? Like you're with some friends playing a game, right? And they're all into, oh man, this is like war. You're like, no,
No,
dude,
it's not.
this is not like war, dude. Like calm down, right?
Yeah.
Like this, like no, like no.
I talk about that actually. So um I'm normally responsible for teaching, like the bridge from reality into games and gamification stuff. I'm always pegged as the guy who's going to design and develop military combat games, combat simulation style games. And something I can say for a fact that most popular ones that are doing military like games purposely avoid certain elements of realism because one obviously would be too graphic and two it's not about that, it's about enjoying the time. But yeah, it happens that I hear that like, oh, I wonder what this, hey Julie, is this like real combat? And I was like, no, it's not, man.
Like not even close, right?
Not even
First of all, you
close.
sit in a chair in an air conditioner.
Yeah,
You probably got a fucking beer or something
eating the
like,
pizza.
yeah.
Man, we wasn't eating no pizza. It was none of this, dude. I don't nobody respawns in combat.
So is gaming is a game design for any type of game the same way as like it's like a game development for like I don't know like World of Warcraft the same as like some kind of Peter Pan game for teenagers or
Yes and no.